Good afternoon. My name's Jonathan Quigley, partner of SparkLabs Cultiv8. This afternoon, we're also going to touch on the drought, which is extraordinarily challenging for the farmers and regional communities. We're looking for novel ways to enhance our drought resilience, and this afternoon we've got a new research project where we're looking to partner with Soil Quest, who have an extraordinarily interesting technology to assist farmers as we continue to deal with the challenges ahead. When Guy Hudson agreed to be the executive director of SparkLabs Cultiv8, his English accent told us we needed to get him onto some Aussie farms. So I quickly engaged the services of Guy Webb, an agronomist in the central west of New South Wales. A couple of days in a Hilux looking at canola crops and wheat crops was where this passion was drawn from Webby. So this partnership, or this research project that we're very excited about, we're looking to ensure that we can get the message out to as many people as possible. So without further ado, looking forward to hearing from Guy Webb from Soil Quest.
When Bon Scott first screamed down the microphone, "Dirty deeds done dirt cheap," I was an 11-year-old farm boy growing up out the back of Condobolin. And myself, AC/DC and the rest of the world were breathing 330 parts per million of the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide. "42 short years later, I've got a couple of boys of my own now. I'm an agronomist and I'm the director of a soil carbon and climate change research institute called Soil Quest 2031. And myself, everyone else in this room, some of the members of AC/DC and the rest of the world are now breathing 411 parts per million of carbon dioxide. That's a 25% increase in 42 short years, 2 parts per million every year. That's real frog in a pot stuff, isn't it? Imagine being able to do something practical about that elephant in the room. At the same time that we've been building up all this carbon in the atmosphere, we've been losing carbon from the world's soils. It's reckoned somewhere around about 60% that we've lost. Now, soil carbon is like the meat on the bones of soil. It's the stuff that makes soils fertile. It's the stuff that gives us resilience in our soil, because in simple terms, soil carbon holds water and nutrients in the landscape. So a 60% loss in soil carbon in the world's soils is a 60% loss in resilience in agriculture. It's a food security issue. Farmers just need 2 things for food security to keep us all secure with food. We all sit and eat 3 to 5 times a day and don't really think about where that food's coming from. But to do that job, farmers just need really 2 simple things. They need a stable climate and they need a fertile soil. So perhaps the dual issue of way too much carbon in the atmosphere and way too little carbon in the soil might be solved by simply taking the carbon out of the air and transferring it into the soil. Now, to do that, we'd need a technology that would be easy to adopt by farmers, we'd need it to be economical, and it would need to be done at a gigaton scale. So I'm here today to share with you a discovery. It's an Australian discovery right here at the University of Sydney, where it was first uncovered. It is a world first, and I believe its implications for regenerative agriculture and climate change mitigation are monumental. The ability to be able to take a soil like this, low carbon, infertile, hard to grow things, and turn it into a soil like this, high carbon, highly fertile. from this to this. From this little beauty, pH about 4.2, really infertile, growing not much in the paddock, to this, pH about 5.4, organic carbon levels of 1.8, growing much more biomass. Soil carbon is like black gold to farmers. So by definition, to farmers at least, that carbon that we're so worried about in the sky is actually an opportunity for agriculture. It's a resource. All we need is a technology that allows farmers to actually mine that carbon, to harvest that carbon out of the sky and transfer it into the soils. Take it from a place where we don't want it and put it into a place where we really do want it. That puts a dollar value on that carbon in the sky. A dollar value for farmers in increased productivity, in potential for carbon trading, and a dollar value for everyone on the planet looking to escape the worst effects of dangerous climate change. A technology that would allow us to fix the climate by fixing the soil. And that's a really happy thought going forward into the future for future generations. So what is this big discovery? Well, for $1,000 each, I'll let you know. I'm only joking. You'll get it for free tonight. It's a humble fungus, a soil carbon fungus. But just as penicillin was just a humble fungus, this organism has the potential to radically change the fate of the planet. Why is that? Because of one simple attribute that this fungus has. This is the fungus on a petri dish. This fungus manufactures stable soil carbon, and it makes lots of it. And it does so by using the carbon out of the air. It's applied as a simple seed treatment, which means it's really easy to deploy. It's easy for farmers to use. They just coat it on their seed and sow it as they would be normally sowing any crop, at any scale, in any soil, anywhere on the planet. That makes it deployable at scale into all the major agricultural zones around the world. How much carbon sequestration am I talking here? We're looking in a 10-year deployment window at somewhere in the vicinity of 180 gigatons of carbon dioxide pulled out of the air, transferred into the soil, which equates to 80 parts per million, which quite nicely takes us back to 330 parts per million back in 1976 when Bon Scott screamed down the microphone, "Dirty deeds done dirt cheap." The vision for Soil Sequest 2031 has been forged by asking two simple questions. One, is it actually possible to do this? We believe yes, most definitely. The second question, is it important? My bloody oath, it's important. Our vision is to empower farmers to grow bigger, better and more climate resilient crops, to empower farmers to be the next power brokers in the coming emerging carbon market. But most of all, to empower farmers all around the world through science to become carbon capturing climate superheroes. Thanks very much.
Baby,